Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you'll enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Krider. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Krider are taking some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This story's called Let's Hear It for the Boys by Rob Krider. Hey, that's me. Most of the summer, I've been a good boy, and I've spent a lot of time with my kids and my wife, whom I love. We frequented the beach, the lake, amusement parks, museums, and even the La Brea tar pits. Essentially, most of my summer was spent driving around looking for the cleanest bathroom in Los Angeles, which it turns out is actually in Santa Barbara. And if I wasn't searching for a sterile John every 15 miles, I was looking for a drive-through fast food restaurant that has a vegetarian meal for my environmentally savvy son, red meat for my carnivore daughter, and a salad for my diet-conscious wife. And I wanted this unrealistic food haven to be right next to the freeway with, of course, a clean bathroom. It would have been easier to find the Holy Grail. So after a few weekends in a row playing bathroom scavenger hunt alongside my picky-eating family with the small bladders, I was looking for a weekend with no kids and no wife. Dad needed a vacation from all his family vacationing. What I needed was a weekend with the guys. My wish was to come true in the form of a car project in the Bay Area. The plan was simple: kiss the wife and kids goodbye, drive up north, see some of my old buddies from high school, and spend 2 days transforming a 1976 Chrysler Cordoba into a demolition derby car under the gracious tutelage of the derby experts at 3rd Street Auto Repair. The trip would be just like the show Monster Garage, without Jesse James, the television cameras, or the $5,000 budget. I got up before the sun on Saturday and drove northbound. I didn't have to spend a week planning the trip. I didn't spend a day shopping for new clothes before I left. And in fact, I didn't even really pack before I left. I just wrapped my toothbrush in a pair of underwear, tossed them in my front seat, and hit the road. Without the family in tow, my travels were direct and quick. I never stopped to use the bathroom, and when I was hungry, I just chewed on my fingernails. The whole idea was to get where I was going, not tour every freeway exit and rate restroom cleanliness. When I arrived, I found that our working conditions for transforming the Chrysler were not the best. The Cordoba was in a dirt lot with small rocks ready to puncture our backs while we tinkered underneath the car. There was no shade, and the sun had already heated up the metal body of the car hot enough to cook cheeseburgers. Our tools we had to use consisted of a cracked 5-gallon bucket filled with random wrenches, sockets, screwdrivers, and last but not least, a sledgehammer. Our bathroom was nothing more than a half-dead berry bush. It's a good thing my wife didn't come. My friends and I had a ton of work to do and not much time to get it done. The fair was coming up the following weekend, and we needed the car ready for the demolition derby, which is sometimes called the smash-up derby, or guys who are dumb enough to climb into an old car and run into each other in front of a crowd derby. We were required to strip the car of its interior, any plastic exterior pieces, and all window glass, hence the sledgehammer. We also had to rewire the car, move the battery into the interior, and install a new gas tank. There would be no time for strategy sessions or lunch location debates, just hard, manual, knuckle-busting labor. A good old boy named John arrived around 10 a.m. He dropped down a 12-pack of Coors Light and then announced, "I brought you guys a case of water." For breakfast, he was eating a 7-Eleven chili dog covered in nacho cheese. Another friend of mine, Jeremy, mysteriously showed up with a welder. When I asked him where he got it, he shrugged and said, "I borrowed it from work. They don't exactly know about it, but it's here, so let's use it." We got right to the project, and within minutes we were all each submerged in dirt, grease, and foul language. As we thrashed on the Chrysler Cordoba, now called simply the Doba, we traded stories filled with exaggerations about romantic conquests, speeding tickets, and record tequila consumption. You could probably safely use the 50% rule with anything that was said that weekend. All of it being 50% total BS, with the other 50% the truth, but probably the truth for someone else, not the guy actually telling the story. John was busy using a metal grinder that had a broken handle. Don't try this at home, kids. And he was telling us all a story about another demolition derby car he built and then crashed into a tree during a test drive, when suddenly the grinder jumped off of the car and hit him in the chest. For those of you not real familiar with metal grinders and their contact with human flesh, let me just tell you this: it is ugly and it is bad. We all ran over to John and saw that his t-shirt was torn open over his breast pocket. He reached in, pulled out a pack of Marlboro Reds, and found that the outside of the cigarette pack was also cut from the grinder. His chest only received a minor scratch. Well, minor in metal grinder terms. He was still bleeding quite a bit. He frantically opened up the pack of cigarettes and announced, "Oh man, that was close. If the grinder had cut my smokes in half, I would have had to go all the way to the store." With that, he pulled out a fresh cig and lit it up. Standing there, covered in dirt, leaning against the doba, and bleeding, he took a drag off of his cigarette and then got right back to finishing his half-true story. At that moment, I realized John may have been the toughest guy I'd ever met, and that we had just witnessed probably the first time in the history of the world where cigarettes actually saved a man's life. I also knew there wasn't a vacation destination on the planet that I'd rather be at than working on an old car with some old friends. By the way, my buddies and I barely survived the completion of the Demolition Derby project, and now I have to find the courage to actually go drive the thing.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails, drunken portion of the motherfucking show. We are in Sin City, Las Vegas by way of Santa Fe, New Mexico. We fucking went to Meow Wolf in New Mexico, and then we just bolted across the country to make it to Vegas.
Yeah, we hauled ass.
We fucking hauled the mail to get here.
And by hauled ass, I mean we held steady at about 62 miles per hour because we're driving a big old RV.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was as fast as I could go in the thing. You know
Exactly.
I was just tucking it behind big rigs, just fucking mowing down people. It was good.
It was a long fucking travel day.
14 hours it took us.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't take people that long to get from Santa Fe to Las Vegas, but it took us that long.
Yeah.
Well, we had a reason to chase the run. Like, we had to get here because we want to see women's basketball.
Yes. We weren't scheduled to get here until tomorrow.
Right.
So we actually got here 2 days earlier than I had planned on us getting here just because we wanted to see women's basketball.
So the whole women's basketball thing was new to us on this trip. We were in Biloxi, and we were walking by a sports betting place.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know women played basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I just
I'm
thought they
embarrassed
just
to
did
say
dishes and
that.
laundry. I didn't know they fucking played sports.
Right? I know. I had no fucking idea that they could play, like,
It's
dribble
amazing.
the ball
Yeah.
and make baskets.
Even with a vagina, they can actually throw it into the hoop.
Oh,
It's so crazy.
what the fuck is wrong with
It's
you?
like a fucking, I'm like, wow, look at her throwing baskets. It's not even a basket of laundry. It's so crazy.
We're like passing through and we just saw like a huge TV screen and like the nicest fucking chairs. And we're like, hey, what's going on in there? Like, you guys watching a movie or something?
Well, my first question was, I'm like, can I get drinks and nachos in those big leather chairs and watch sports? And they're like, you can.
Well, I didn't even know it was sports. I was just like, what movie are you guys showing?
Are we watching E.T.?
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, will you pause it if I have to go to the bathroom?
No.
And they're like, ma'am, this is sports. This is a sports book. Do you want to bet on some sports?
What sports are
We
on?
walked up and we were like, well, what can we bet on? Like, what's going on? And then
We would have watched anything. We would have watched curling. We would have watched horse racing. We would have watched midget
yeah.
bowling. We didn't give a fuck.
we just wanted to sit in those super comfy chairs,
Yeah.
order some fucking nachos,
Exactly.
get a bucket of beer.
Let me live my dream. Bucket of
And-
beer, nachos. I'll fucking sit here and watch anything.
Yeah, but then like the nicest sports book guy on the fucking planet, and I wish I could remember his name. Okay, it's women's basketball. It's college women's basketball. It's March Madness.
I'm like, women go to college?
And I was like, March Madness, like that's boys basketball. And he's like, no, you sexist dumb bitch. Like, it's women's basketball too. Do you want to bet on the game? At this point, it was LSU against Iowa.
Yeah.
So we were still early in the tournament. Not early, like I think it was like semifinals.
Yeah.
Iowa versus LSU. And he said, do you want to gamble on? And I said, yeah. I said, I think I want to go with LSU. And he's like, I wouldn't. LSU won last year. Iowa has a bone to pick with them. Like, they're coming, they're hungry. And
they got this girl named Caitlin.
and
Clark.
they have Caitlin Clark. And I was like,
Who the fuck is this bitch?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know who fucking Caitlin Clark is. I want
$10
fucking-
on LSU.
Yeah, I want fucking LSU.
You bet against Caitlin Clark.
One of my bestest friends in the whole wide world, she went to college in Iowa, but she didn't go to Iowa State. She went to University of Northern Iowa. So she went to UNI. Well, I don't know. I've never fucking been to Iowa. But in my mind, if those are the two colleges in Iowa, they should be rivals, right? So I was like, if it's not UNI, I'm not betting on it because
Right.
I want to be loyal to my friend back in Fresno.
Sure.
I'm not betting on fucking Iowa.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's not UNI.
Plus, we just gone to Louisiana. We're partying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fuck, let's go for the girls from Louisiana. Let's do it.
Well, then later, I text her and I'm like, hey, I fucking bet on LSU. I didn't fucking bet on Iowa. And she just texted me back and she's like, Iowa girls for the win always. Like, what the fuck is wrong
She's like,
with
also,
you?
there's Caitlin Clark, so you're
Yeah.
fucked.
She's just like, why wouldn't you bet on Iowa? I'm like, I don't know, some fucking weird sense of loyalty to you because you went to UNI. I fucking
fucked
don't.
it.
I don't know about Iowa college politics.
And then the whole room is like Iowa fans. They're like, we're here to see Caitlin Clark kick ass. We're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, well, we're rooting for the underdog then. We want to see these LSU girls do good.
They weren't really underdogs though. They were the reigning champs. They had won
Last year, national
last
champs.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it felt like everyone was like, they have no shot. And they didn't.
So I immediately fell in love with women's basketball. It was so amazing. Fucking phenomenal athletes. The thing I didn't love was watching college girls, 18, 19 years old. We're watching college girls. We're watching teenagers. And I'm surrounded in the sports book with these fucking men. There was one man, I wanted to fucking punch him in the face.
It wasn't me, for the record.
No, it was not you. There was one guy. The coaches were women. The referees were women. The broadcasters were women. Like, for me, it was a moment. I was just like, holy shit. Like, look at this. Like, this is fucking awesome. And then there's this old fat fucker. Again, for the record, it
wasn't me.
And at one point, they showed the LSU coach and they're losing. And I hear this old fat fucker. He's like, oh, she's walking bow-legged now. Look at her. Oh, yeah. Fucking quarter 3. How's that loss feel? Like, you're bow-legged now. And I wanted to punch him.
Because I think what he was saying was she just got fucked.
Yeah, no, I understood. That's why I was so angry. Because I don't think that he would say that.
That was the euphemism he was going for.
I don't think he would say that about a male coach. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that he's watching Bill Belichick on Sundays, NFL Sundays, and he's like, oh, you look fucking bow-legged now. Like,
you lost Brady, dude. You're going to be walking bow-legged tomorrow.
Yeah, that was something that he saved specifically for a female coach, and it just pissed me the fuck
You were
off.
not happy about that.
No, I wasn't. I was like, hey, you know what?
But you did have a bucket full of beers and nachos.
I was like, the only women who are bow-legged after being fucked is the women that fuck you because you're so fucking fat, dude. I would dislocate a hip to open my legs up wide enough for your fucking fat ass to get in there. And that was very, very graphic, but I was very mad.
You're a little triggered there. He triggered you.
I was. We discover women's basketball
And we have to
in Biloxi.
race across the country to Vegas because we see Caitlin Clark win. She becomes a phenom. She's #1 draft pick. Now they're playing the Las Vegas Aces. So we're hauling the mail across the country because we're going to see the Las Vegas Aces. So we're Las Vegas fans. We saw the Golden Knights play. Mark Davis owns the Raiders and he owns the Aces, which we just found out because we just learned that women can play basketball. So now I got to have a fucking player that I'm all about, right? So I'm like searching around like who's going to be my
Before
girl.
you do that, though, first I got to ask you a question.
Yes.
We are bandwagon fans of the WNBA, of women's basketball.
Yeah, all
Give you that.
of it.
Now, we had to pick a team. Did we pick the Las Vegas Aces because we knew we were going to go to Vegas and we go to Vegas frequently? Or did we pick the Aces because
They just won the championship in 22 and 23. Yeah, we like winners, baby.
Yeah.
We also love Vegas.
when we go bandwagon, we go all in. We're like, hey, not only do we fucking love women's basketball, but we're huge WNBA fans now. Oh, shit, we're the biggest fans of the winning team. Go figure.
Go fucking Aces.
What a coincidence that we picked the 2-time champs. 3-peat.
And they also have the 2017 #1 draft pick,
Oh, yeah.
Kelsey Plum.
So then you
Number
decided
10.
you were going to get yourself like a little girlfriend, like
Yeah,
I do.
that's
you know,
my girl.
Where I'm like, hey, that's my boyfriend. Oh, my boyfriend's up to bat. So you decided Kelsey Plum is my girl.
So let me tell you something that's pretty forward and honest. The reason I chose Kelsey Plum is because she's 5'8". So she's not taller than me because I'm 5'8" and 3/4.
Oh, I knew that.
So I was like, oh, I could like her because I can't be with some 6 foot tall lady. Like I'm too insecure for that. So I was like, Kelsey Plum is #1 draft pick in 2017. She's got a gold medal. She's won 2 NBA championships. She's gotten MVP awards. Like she's the shit. And she's 5'8". And she does all this with girls who are 6+ feet and she's still crushing it, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like all about it. What I didn't know, the crazy part is you buy me a Kelsey Plum shirt to wear.
Yes.
I'm excited. Then I find out, because I literally know nothing about this shit. I'm learning all this shit on Wikipedia. She was married to Waller from the
Yeah.
fucking Raiders. Now I had a Waller jersey when I was a Raiders fan. I loved Waller. Well, motherfucker got traded.
Yeah.
'Cause as soon as I buy a jersey,
They get
he gets
traded.
traded. So you buy me the shirt, I'm like, and then I find out they just got divorced. Which for me, I'm happy because I'm like, oh, so I have a chance.
She's
right?
available.
She's available.
Yeah.
Kelsey Plum's available and she's 5'8". But I'm like, so wait a second. I have both the jerseys of this failed relationship. Like,
because
the
what
fuck?
every 29-year-old 2-time champion wants out of life is a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's a fantasy. You know
I
what
know.
I'm saying?
I know.
And really, I don't really want to like have sex with Kelsey Plum. I'm just rooting for her because I like to see a 5'8" girl kick everybody's ass. Now, we saw her play the #1 draft pick from this year, which is Caitlin Clark, and they went head to head last night. And just the record, Kelsey Plum, 20 points, Caitlin Clark, 8, Las Vegas Aces win. Fuck yeah, let's go.
Now, also for the record, this is the first time I watched women's sports with you live. I know how you cheer for sports, and to hear you.
I'm the biggest fucking fan all the time.
Well,
Every
and
sports
I was really having a moment. Like I felt like glass ceilings being shattered above me.
Right.
I really was. I was having like a girl moment.
Female rest, female coaches, female empowerment.
Female broadcasters.
Yeah, it's cool. It was awesome.
Like the
It
fans.
was also a great show.
I mean, we were surrounded by women fans who knew all this stuff about basketball, and they're just like spouting out all. It was just like I was having a fucking moment. I was getting emotional, and then you're like, "Oh, come on, girl, you could have made that." And I had like a moment where I was like, "You shut the fuck up." You know what? that was a good try. Like, I was having a hard time.
You were defending all the women on the basketball court. I'm like, hey man, you passed out of bounds.
And I was like, no. I mean, I watch all these live sports with him. Like, I know, like he's a shoutcaster. He's got a lot of opinions. He instantly is the biggest expert about everything. Like, this is how he watches sports.
It's no different.
It's no different. But it was harder for me to stomach when you're like, oh, yeah, are you fucking kidding me, girl? Did you think that was going to go in the basket? Like, what? And I'm just like, shut up. Stop it.
So were you upset when I stood up and like clapped my ass off for Plum? Because she had a great game. I was like, God damn, you go, Kelsey.
No, when you were cheering people. The funny thing is again, like I watch a lot of sports too, and I always pick a team, and I will just cheer for that team as if I'm their biggest fan. Yesterday, I was cheering for both teams.
Yeah, you didn't give a shit.
Anytime the ball went in the fucking hoop, I was cheering.
You were wearing a fucking Aces t-shirt, but you were clapping for the Indiana Fever. Like, you didn't give a fuck. You just wanted every girl to have their best game ever.
The woman next to me, she was maybe the biggest basketball fan of all times. And so I sat next to her, and I have an Aces shirt on, and she's got a Fever shirt on. And I was like, oh, shit, But then I noticed she was the same as me. She was clapping for everybody. So finally, I was like, okay, so we're both on the same page. Like, you seem to know more than I do, but you're still clapping for everyone.
Because we just found out about that girls even play basketball 3 weeks ago.
And she's like, I'm cheering for both teams. And I was like, well, then you're the perfect person for me to sit by because I am also cheering for both teams. And it
was a fucking great night.
And I'm like, this fucker over here, he's just cheering for Kelsey Plum.
He likes Kelsey Plum.
He likes her.
Because she's short.
Yeah, because she's the shortest girl
What does that say about me? I'm such a fucking douchebag, man. Like, well, who's the shortest girl out there? Oh, Kelsey Plum. I like her.
Well, and then I even said to you, because you were just like reading her Wikipedia page, and you're just like, oh, she's my girlfriend, and I know all this shit about her. And I'm like, I literally see you reading it off of Wikipedia.
I'm like, she has a gold medal from fucking.
So then finally I said to you, I'm like, look, this is cool. I like that you're getting into it, but I'm like, this isn't you. Like, what's going on here? I said, I feel like you're doing like a performance, like a guy who wants to have a crush on a basketball player. And you were like, yeah, I just want equity in this marriage. Like, you get to have a crush on everybody. It's a double standard. I just really want to have a celebrity crush too. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
She's hot.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, they use a lot of like video promo for her. They did this whole thing like the flex cam where like everyone like, makes muscles and shit, and they use it for like the in-house video.
Oh, she had huge fucking muscles.
She fucking does. She flexes, and I'm like, oh shit, dude. Like, she could fucking probably bench 500 pounds, dude. Like, she probably curls 350. I was like, dude, Kelsey Plum would kick my ass.
Yeah,
like, she would fuck me up.
You are such a competitive person. You and I compete on every fucking level. I would love to see you with a 29-year-old professional fucking athlete because, yeah, you'd be like, hey, I'm going to do my yoga. And she'd be like, hey, I'm going to go bench 500 pounds. And you would just be like, oh, I think I need to go back to my foul.
I'm like, you want to go go-kart racing? Kick your fucking ass.
Do you want to go in the demolition derby? So, hey, I'm rattling on and on and on about basketball. You got a fucking shot of tequila there that you haven't taken yet.
Yes, I have some Casa Dragones.
Yes.
And so we don't really just do shots on the show, but you took a shot. You took a shot of tequila right before we started the show, and I was so amazed because you told me that you broke up with tequila. And you never, ever getting back together, and it seems like you and tequila worked it out. Like,
I don't drink tequila, and I don't do shots.
But you did them today.
Ever.
You're like, we're doing a show, fucking shot of tequila.
Well, I was very, very, very hungover, and I just felt like a hair of the dog, Well, hang on. Drink your fucking shot, and then I'll tell you.
Oh.
Toss it back, babe. Yeah, but it was good, though, right?
Yeah, I know it's good. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's my tequila.
I'm actually like, I introduced it to you.
I'm like, thank you for introducing the tequila that I have in the motorhome.
But but it was my idea this morning to get it out. Actually, it's not really morning. It's like, it's fucking 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Jesus. God, tequila fucks me up.
Yeah, I know.
I could feel that thing hit me like, woo. Yeah.
We don't have any shot glasses in the motorhome. So I measured out a shot because we have like a shot measuring thing, the jigger, and I poured it in my coffee cup, and then it was super hot. So I had to ice it, but I still took a shot. So then Addie FaceTimed me, and I was FaceTiming her. I tipped back the coffee cup. I take this big old shot, and she thinks it's like this big old gulp of coffee. So she's like, why are you making that face about, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, it's tequila. And she goes, you put tequila in your coffee? I'm like, no, I'm just using this mug as a shot glass. She's just like, yeah, I don't know what to do with you and Dad anymore.
When you explain that you are just sitting on a FaceTime call, drinking tequila out of a coffee cup at 3 in the afternoon, that is so classy. You're such a classy babe. I'm going to take you out tonight in Vegas and just show you off. I'm like, look at this classy broad I brought with me.
She's pretty grossed out by us. She's been catching up on old podcast episodes, and she's just like, so yeah, I don't need to know that much about my parents' sex life. You know, it's just like, can you guys talk about anything else except for sex? I'm like, yeah, we're going to talk about women's basketball.
But the crazy part is I heard you guys have that conversation, then you started giving her tips to how to have sex with the dog in the room. Because everybody knows when you have sex with a white girl, you're just going to be a dog in the room.
Yeah.
We had that same dog, and that dog was always in our bed.
Yeah. No, so I told her, I said, hey, because, yeah, she has our dog now. So I said,
you're giving her sex tips for owning a
well,
dog.
because she was just like, she's like,
That's the kind of mother-daughter relationship you guys are having. Like, yeah, we had that dog. If you want to have fucking sex, here's why you do it.
Yeah, no, because he's up in your business. I mean, this morning, well, because
when he says up in your business, he's nose in your crotch.
Yeah,
you don't have a wet dog nose in your asshole.
That's your business. And he's in it with his wet dog nose and his ball. He's trying to get you to throw his ball.
Yes.
So you're trying to have sex and he's just like putting his ball. He always wants to put his ball wherever your attention is. You know what I mean? So if I was loading the dishwasher, he was putting the ball in the dishwasher. Like, stop what you're doing and please throw the ball. If we're having sex, he's putting the ball where our attention is.
Yes, which is our genitals.
Our genitals. And he's
all
like,
things
please
being
throw
equal,
my ball.
I've gotten more ass play from that dog than from you. Like, that dog is licking my ass. I'm like, oh, geez. I mean, it's very distracting. I'm like, I'm not looking for this. I'm not like, no, bring your dog into the bedroom and have it lick your ass while you fuck your wife. Like, I'm not saying that you should do that. It's very, very distracting and awful and scary.
It's way too personal.
He has, touched my butt more than you. You're not really into butt play.
He just puts the ball there.
Well, and I feel his wet nose in there. Also his wet ball. It's so gross.
I told Addie. So Addie's like, hey, you guys only talk about sex. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I can't decide if I think it's like healthy. Like, if I'm glad my parents have such an active sex life or if I'm grossed out. She's just like, I don't want to have an opinion about it one way or the other. So then I told her, hey, it's gotten a lot better since we got rid of the fucking dog.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Since you took the dog. And then she was like, oh, I know. He's the worst. She's like, I don't want to bring a man home. Like, I want to go to their house. I don't want to bring them home because of the dog. But I don't want her having sex in some stranger's house. I want her to bring them.
Yeah, because the dog is like the protector.
Exactly. So that's why.
A 14-pound rescue dog will make sure she's safe.
That's why I started giving her pointers. I was like, look, just put his ball on your nightstand. He'll just stare at the nightstand drawer where he thinks his ball is or where he knows his ball is. Because that's what he does. Like, he just fixates on the ball. He doesn't have the ball. He can't put it in your butt cheeks. He'll just stare at the nightstand drawer. You'll get some peace.
This is the kind of, good parenting advice. That's good. I know people that are listening to this are probably thinking, oh my God, like, we're not into bestiality. I'm not saying that you should invite your dog into your bed. I'm just saying, if you own a fucking dog, you probably had this happen to you. And it's not talked about much. Your dog gets curious. It's a smell out there. He licks your asshole.
The things that you feel guilty about, you do over-explain.
You say I feel guilty that my dog licked my asshole while I had sex with you?
You're like, shit, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have really talked about that.
You keep backpedaling and you just explain it and explain it.
I'm just saying, is there any subject not taboo enough for us to fucking talk about this? Our daughter's asking us, please stop talking about sex. And now we're like, well, let's talk about your sex life, our sex life, the dog's involved.
And I actually told her, like, we're not going to do it this episode. We're going to talk about
women's basketball.
So I want to get back to you explaining shit you feel guilty about. And you're like totally like over-explaining it. And that is what you do. And that is what you did in this fucking story. You know that when you were racing in that year, oh my God, that was when you were in the race anything, win everything phase of Krider racing.
We actually had a sticker that said race anything, win everything.
Yeah.
It was on a t-shirt.
I know. And that's what you were doing. I mean, a buddy down the street was just like, hey, do you want to race my lawnmower? And you're like, fuck yeah, I do.
Dude. Let's put a Krider racing stripe on the fender.
First, I want to spend a week souping it up and making it faster. And First,
we're going to cheat the rules up and win.
Sandwich that into my super busy schedule. So you were racing, I don't even fucking know how many different cars and different events that year.
Well, that year I did the 24 Hour of Lemons. We won that. We were doing the Western Endurance Racing Championship for NASA. We were also doing like Beetle Ball, Target Trophy.
Then you did like
Demolition Derby.
You did weird
rallies.
Shit. Yeah, like Beetle Ball. Like you had like 4 different cars that you were building for different events. And then you're just like, hey, my brother borrowed his buddy's bug and we're going to go do this thing, Beetle Ball. So you were all over the place. Like your story is like, I went up for a weekend. I mean, maybe you only spent a weekend on the Doba, but you spent every weekend on a project. So at that time, you were so in the doghouse. Like I fucking hated your guts.
You weren't a fan of mine.
I was not a fan of yours.
No.
But that's what you do. You started the story where you're just like, let me present the evidence of what a great fucking guy I am and how I deserve this. I took my whole family to La Brea Tar Pits. No, you didn't. You took us to the Peterson Automotive Museum and I was like, hey, La Brea Tar Pits is next door. Maybe the other 3 of us in this family are interested in that. Can we go see some fucking dinosaur bones? And you're just like, we can maybe fit it in after we see these fucking cars.
That's when I was writing for Jalopnik. And so it's a website about cars. And I had to basically do 2 articles a week. So I had to either race in a race or go see them. I was like car shit. So I was super involved because they brought me on to be like the race car guy on the website. So I was like, well, we got to do every fucking race there is and try to win every fucking race there is, which means I got to build a car for this and a car for that. And it was going well, but we won a lot of races, but you one day said, if you go to one more fucking race, I will not be here when you get home.
Yeah, I was definitely at the end of my rope, and you knew it.
I did know it, yeah.
That's why the story cracked me up when you were reading. It cracked me up, but it also triggered me.
So the story's called Let's Hear It for the Boys. It's about the boys, boys being boys.
Oh, yeah.
Getting away from their family.
Here's the funny part.
What's funny about it?
We've already done this story.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
We've done this before?
We've done this story. Go in St. Louis.
Like St. Louis, like home of the king of beers, St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri?
Yeah. We did this.
Oh, fuck.
We did this story.
We did this already.
We did this.
Well, why don't we just fucking play that and let's fucking take some more tequila shots and get the fuck out of here.
Oh, because we're going to go on to the original
Let's just segue to that story. Fuck it, we already did it.
Do the fucking clapping thing.
Do the fucking clapping thing. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, coming to you live on tape from St. Louis, Missouri. This is the home of the king of beers, Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, which is appropriate for our show today because we have been day drinking all day as we started our journey on the brewery tour at Anheuser-Busch.
Yes.
And you are a very happy girl, Mrs. Krider, because you love
Bud Light.
And you got a Bud Light born on date of?
Today.
Yes.
Yeah,
today
no.
You got it.
The Anheuser-Busch tour was amazing. Did you hear that?
Ooh. I'm going to join you on that because I have fresh from the Anheuser-Busch brewery.
These were the party favors.
I learned a new name today.
What's it called?
Well, we're drinking what they call a Mick Ultra. Now, in California, we call this a Michelob Ultra because it's a very low-calorie beer. So it's kind of marketed to people who are running and biking and trying to stay in shape, but still drinking beer like a fat fuck. And we've fallen for that fucking marketing pretty hard in California. But everywhere I've gone, it's like, give me a Michelob Ultra, please. But today they said, you guys are getting 2 free Mick Ultras. I was like, oh, shit, dude. I'm going to call it Mick Ultra forever now. That's fucking cool.
I can't track you right now, dude. I mean, I know I'm fucked up, but you're speaking like someone who's not fucked up. But if you listen to like your content, you're just like, in California, we call it a Michelob Ultra because it's a light beer. It's refreshing and it has low calories. I'm like, that's not why we call it a Michelob Ultra. We call it a Michelob Ultra because that's what it says on the fucking label. We just read. But today we had like an inside scoop, and it has absolutely nothing to do with caloric content or if we run or work out in California. And we found out that Anheuser-Busch actually calls it a Mick Ultra. You're a loquacious motherfucker.
Yeah, I got a lot to say.
So you could just say, hey, we went to the factory today and it turns out they call it a Mick Ultra. And then that would be the end of the story. Succinct, we move on. But you're a loquacious motherfucker with a backstory.
I'm drinking this beer. It has a new nickname, and I got it from the brewery. Yay.
There you go.
Backslap me.
There you go.
Congratulations to Rob Krider. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, where they've been making this fucking beer for almost 150 years.
You keep going. But when I first said, there you go, baby, you were succinct. You got right to the point. I was congratulating you. But then you kept going. You're a loquacious.
I thought women like a little time, a lot of longevity. You know what I'm saying?
Ew,
not a
foreplay. Not with fucking conversation.
Jump.
Foreplay.
Oh, yeah.
Not conversation.
Fuck me a long time. Don't talk to me for a long time.
Yeah, just.
Oh, man, I got this all wrong. I'm quick with the words. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fucking writer. I got a lot to say.
So we're in St. Louis. We saw a game at Busch Stadium, which
shocking. Anheuser-Busch owns the fucking Cardinals.
It was all of my fucking dreams come true. Like, we have gone to so many different sporting events, and I walk around and I walk around. I'm like, does this vendor have Bud Light? Does this vendor have Bud Light? And like, sometimes I have to go up to like the 3rd floor or the 4th floor.
You got to get the guy like on the walkway. He's got a cooler. He's like, for $2, I'll give you a fucking Bud Light. It's warm as shit. You're like, I'll take it.
Or they're in the section between 331 and 332, you could maybe find a Bud Light or a Michelob Ultra. I'm picky, and I'm not picky. Like I'll drink just the king of beers, but like they're picky about where they serve it.
Yeah.
Anyways, long story short, I don't want to be loquacious like you. Busch Stadium, the only beer you can fucking get, Budweiser, Bud Light.
You can't find a Coors Light
Michelob Ultra
within 60 miles of this
God.
fucking city. This city is fucking owned by Anheuser-Busch. It is so obvious.
It was a dream. Bud Light.
They're all Budweiser Terrace. Everything's Budweiser Terrace.
Giving you a Bud Light is just
the Budweiser basement, the Budweiser Terrace, the Budweiser fucking elevator. Everything is fucking the king of beers, man.
It's fucking awesome.
We had a really great tour guide. He was everything you'd expect. He was just an old dude with a beer belly. He loved beer.
Let's clear it up. So we were talking about the stadium.
Yeah.
Now we're back to Anheuser-Busch factory tour.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not jumping around because the fact of the matter is this. The brewery tour, the stadium.
It's all the same.
This whole fucking place is owned by Budweiser.
Yes.
They own everything that's here. The team, the buildings, the hotel we're staying in, which we have an actual stadium view room. We can see the stadium from our room, which is pretty dope.
It's right over there.
Even though the Cardinals did lose today, and that's our fault, we have noticed that we have been traveling around the country. Today was our 16th MLB stadium, and we found out that the Criders are a bit of a cooler
Maybe.
So if we come to your town, your home team's going to fucking lose the game.
Dude, they play
In
160
spectacular
games.
fashion in the last inning.
They play 160 games. I mean, if they lose one because we're there watching, it's only one game.
Let's give it up to the Busch Stadium, though. We've been to a lot of stadiums. One of our faves. It was
100%.
awesome. Just
Yes.
brick, beautiful, fantastic views. We had a great weather day. A little humid for us, but we still enjoyed it. Sunset. It was a Saturday. Fucking beautiful.
I learned something today about this marriage.
You were this many years old when you learned this?
Yeah. So outside of Busch Stadium is Ballpark Village. It's super cute. Like, I mean, St. Louis has done it well. Like, they really have.
Crushed it.
They've built a village around the ballpark, and they aptly named it Ballpark Village, and they've got bars. They've got...
It's a village of bars.
Yeah.
That's why you like it.
You can... Okay, but you can also get food.
This village doesn't have a school in it. It has fucking bars.
Yeah, it's bars, it's food. You can buy shit. You can buy team gear. Okay, so we leave the ballpark and we go to Ballpark Village.
Right.
And you say, let's get one more drink. And I say, okay. And then there's a DJ. And then you say, let's dance. And I say, okay, because I like dancing most of the time. But then sometimes, like when you said let's dance, I'm like, I have cognitive dissonance about this because I really enjoy dancing. But you're inviting me to dance and I don't want to, like, what is happening? Why don't I want to dance with my husband of 27 years?
I don't know why you don't want to dance
when
with me.
I love dancing so much. Like, I'm a child of Footloose, the original Footloose. Like
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon
win.
Footloose. You know what I mean? Like, I want to
Fucking
dance.
Kenny Loggins soundtrack fucking Footloose,
Yeah,
y'all.
I want to fucking dance. All I ever wanted out of life was a man who said, let's dance. And you said, do you want to dance? And I was like,
Because Whitney was actually singing, hey, I want to
Yeah.
dance with somebody. And I was like, would you like to dance? Like, I was trying to do a favor
and then
to
did you notice that I hesitated?
Yeah, I did. I did see that you didn't want to dance with
And
me.
did you wonder what that was about?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was about.
I didn't know what that was about either, right?
Yeah, I was confused by that. I was like, hey, you like dancing? I will dance with you.
I know.
And then you're just like, no, fuck you.
I know. So then what happened was I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. I like dancing. I like you. You're offering to dance. Like, this is everything I ever wanted. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're in the home of Bud Light.
Yeah.
Your greatest day ever.
I've never felt more just comfortable and at ease with myself than I did tonight in the home of Budweiser and the home of Bud Light. Like, I had a Bud Light in my hand.
Yeah.
Actually.
Born on today.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I fucking dance good.
Sure. Yeah, and you didn't want to do it with me.
I know.
What's up?
Well, then we got on the dance floor because I'm like, well, I can't really figure this out. Like, I'll just go on the dance floor and see what happens. So it was Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, actually, I don't know why I was hesitant. Like, this is great. We're dancing to this. And then Kesha came on TikTok. I'm like, oh, this is great. I don't know what my hesitation was.
Okay.
And then Lady Gaga's song, Poker Face, came on.
Oh, yeah.
The third song, I was getting over it. I was like, whatever hesitation I had, that was weird. That was a fluke. I love dancing. I'm living my best life.
I assume you love your husband.
I love my
offered to dance with
husband.
you. What the
He's
fuck?
amazing. This is so much fun. I've got a Bud Light in my hand. I'm at the home of Budweiser. And Lady Gaga is singing Poker Face. And then you said...
Well, in the second verse, chorus,
You stopped.
She
stopped
says,
dancing.
poker face, and then she slips one in, and she got away with this, y'all. Lady Gaga says, clear as day, fuck her face, in that song. And they play it on the fucking radio because everyone thinks she's saying poker face, but the third part of the second verse chorus, she says, fuck her face. And that makes me laugh.
And that's when I remembered why I didn't want to dance with you. When you're like, do you want to dance? I'm like, of course I want to dance. But I know we're going to be the third song in, and it doesn't even fucking matter what song it is. You're just going to be like, Lady Gaga wants to have her face fucked like every woman. Everyone just wants to have their face fucked.
No.
Women like to have their faces fucked.
I am by no means saying that's what she's advocating for. I'm just saying she said it.
That's what I got on the dance floor. So we went out there about halfway through Whitney's song.
Yeah.
Right. So we had a half of a song and then TikTok. Right. But it's not even like a whole song because it was like a good DJ and a good DJ doesn't play the whole fucking song.
Yeah.
I'll get
Just
bored.
mix it up, man.
So we're talking
Keep the
about
people dancing, y'all.
We're talking about maybe 30 seconds of Whitney Houston. I want to dance with somebody. We're talking about maybe 45 seconds of TikTok. So we're into it a minute and 15 seconds. And now we're 15 seconds into Lady Gaga. And if my math is right, I've been dancing with you a minute and a half. And you're like, everybody likes to get their face fucked, even Lady Gaga. I've danced with you a whole 90 seconds. When do I get to fuck your face? And then you're just like, fuck her face. And I'm just like, oh, I fucking hate dancing. I remember now why I hate dancing.
Well, listen, y'all. I have a lot of music information because I was a DJ in college. Now, I did not orchestrate this whole thing where the Cardinals would lose and we'd be in St. Louis, Missouri. You'd get Bud Light and the DJ would play Poker Face. I'm like, all right, now I'm going to advocate for fucking women's faces. Let's get on the dance floor. I could not have put all that together. I was just rocking my body with you, dancing back and forth with my, probably overbite, doing the whole white boy dance. And then oh shit, it's Poker Face. She says fucking the song. It's so crazy. They play it for kids.
All right. Okay. You're right. I don't think that you orchestrated all of that. That was not my
I'm not
point.
a wizard.
My point was that if I dance with you, I will enjoy it for 90 seconds.
You're saying I'm 6 trees away from talking about face fucking?
On the 91st second, you're going to make it cringy. And it might not be face fucking.
Cringy?
Oh, yeah. It might just be then all of a sudden, you spin me around and you just start grinding on my butt crack.
Listen, I grew up when MTV had Spring Break and I saw a lot of grinding. And I thought that's what you women liked.
You're a product of your generation.
Yes.
And you're just if I dance with a woman for 90 fucking seconds.
Either grind her butt crack or fuck her face.
Exactly.
Were you watching the same MTV I was watching in the fucking late 80s, early 90s?
Apparently not. How many years does it take for you
I was
to be
imprinted.
married to me?
I was imprinted.
For me to tell you, no. On the 91st second of dancing, we're just going to keep dancing. There's going to be no face fucking. There's going to be no ass crack humping. We're going to be a couple of Mormons out there on the dance floor.
I got the wrong idea altogether out there.
Sure
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You're sure fucking.
All right, so I'm going to switch gears here. We're going to talk about a story today. It was called Let's Hear It for the Boys, a reference to Footloose, actually. Published August 6, 2008 in the Santa Maria Sun. This is about the Demolition Derby. My wife, who read it to me tonight before we did this show, was making fun of me because anytime if you hear a Man Overboard story that mentions any specific shop or product or a tire, chances are I was being sponsored by them. And so I was throwing a little love to those businesses, this case 3rd Street Garage in Napa, California, for helping sponsor the build of my Demolition Derby car. So I'm caught. I obviously did not finish journalism school. I didn't even take ethics in journalism. I didn't know you weren't supposed to do that kind of shit.
It was not obvious at all.
No, I slipped right in. Nobody got it.
Yeah, no,
nobody
definitely.
picked up on that. It was just seamless.
I was reading it tonight and I was just wow, 3rd Street Garage. Should we go take our car to them, to get it repaired?
Maybe.
They sound like a good garage.
Pretty good shop, yeah. They'll fix your stuff.
And then I was what? Wait a minute.
Am I in the middle of an advertisement?
Yeah, I'm oh my goodness, you're as good as Facebook. Just slipping that ad in.
I am.
I didn't even fucking notice it.
I will tell you one thing I learned about 3rd Street Garage. They do fix cars, but more importantly, they care about
Oh shit!
the Demolition Derby.
Oh my god! Are you advertising for them right now?
No, I'm just saying they were a Demolition Derby powerhouse.
Are you still sponsored by them?
No, once I did my thing with them, I was on to the next thing. I was yeah, thanks boys, I gotta go.
Then why are we still plugging them in the podcast?
Because it was mentioned in the story.
Shameless.
I think it's pointless. I think it has a point.
No, it's not pointless. It's fucking shameless.
Oh, thank you.
It's shameless.
I was using the wrong term. It's fucking shameless.
And you're doing it again.
I mean, if you let me fucking talk for 70 minutes, I'll get to the point.
17 fucking minutes. Yeah. Okay.
Just give me 17 minutes, I'll get to the point. All right. I'm going to go as fast as I can.
Wait, we dance for 90 seconds and you try to fuck my face.
Yeah.
But you need 17 minutes of talking to get to the point?
Yes. Actually, I'm going to do this in 33 seconds. I show up at 3rd Street Garage. I got to fucking fix this Cordoba, make it a Demolition Derby car. We come late to the party because we do this a lot on our team. We don't have time to prepare for stuff because we're always doing a bunch of shit. I'm probably doing 4 other races that year. I guarantee it. So we roll into Napa. We're going to build this fucking car. The fucking fair is in probably 3 days. We got 3 days to get this done. And our car's outside. And we're working on it. And a couple of dudes are there what the fuck are you guys doing here? I'm like, well, we're going to fix this car up. I've had it stored here. The guys who own the shop are letting me do it. And so they're kind of treating us why are you here? What the fuck's going on? So, but we're using resources, getting shit done, borrowing parts and tools. And the owner comes out and he's the guy, right? And the other dude's what are these dudes you doing here? And then this guy says to him, these guys roll with us. And I was like, holy shit. I have never heard that before. And I've never rolled with anybody. I've never fucking rolled with a gang or a fucking outlaw biker group. This felt a lot like that. I was rolling with them because in the Demolition Derby, you want to be on a team.
Dude, I'm so fucking bored right now. I'll let you fuck my face if you stop talking. Was that 33 seconds?
No, I think it probably took about 62 seconds.
Oh, God, you're the worst storyteller because you're
how can I be the worst storyteller? I wrote a fucking column.
Honey, you fucking suck at storytelling. There's so many guys and dudes in that story. I can't keep it straight.
All right, so let me tell you about the next part you were bored and tired of. We went to the state championship for the Demolition Derby with this car we built at a place. And you were in the crowd watching your husband get his lights knocked out in the fucking... And the crowd was drunk, and they were riled up, and they wanted blood. You go into this arena like a gladiator in your car, and you're smashing into other cars.
Yeah, no, I was part of the crowd.
People wanted to see me get hurt. Like, I've been to a lot of races. I've never been in a demolition derby where people actually were rooting for me to fucking bleed and die. They wanted to see me injured.
I was so mad at you. I was rooting for you to bleed. I didn't want you to die, but I definitely wanted you to get hurt. Because
the crowd wanted fucking blood.
No, I was fucking done with this shit.
Yeah, you were so over this demolition.
I was like, how fucking injured do you have to get so that you could still be an earning husband? Like, you could still do your regular job, and you could still fucking play catch with the kids, and you could still fuck me.
In the face?
But no. But I need you to get injured enough.
Damn you, Lady Gaga. I gave you all the wrong ideas.
I need you to get injured enough that you'll stop with this fucking nonsense. Like, this fucking motorsports nonsense. And Demolition Derby was the most nonsensical of all of it. So I wasn't rooting for you to die. I was just rooting for you to just get your bell rung like a little bit so that you would just be like, I'm done with this. Like, you were right. I'm going to get hurt. I'm a big pussy. I got no business doing this. This is ridiculous.
What happened?
I don't know. You won like $200.
I fucking won.
Yeah.
I won the fucking heat at the state championship.
I was fucking drunk.
All I can tell you is this, is that, so I go up on the podium to get my trophy, and they give me this trophy, which I still have, and then they give me this big check, and then you jump on the podium, and you grab the fucking check.
Yeah, that was my fucking money.
You took the check out of the dude's hand on the podium. There's a photograph of this where I'm like holding my fucking neck because it's fucked up from that fucking demolition derby.
You deserved it.
I got to keep the trophy. You snatched the check like,
I
that's
deserved
mine.
that check.
And you walked off with the check.
Yeah, you deserved a hurt neck, and I deserved the check.
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen, dude. You didn't give a shit about racing. And you're like, wait a second. We win money? That's my money, motherfucker. Dude, you just jumped on the podium and stole the fucking check.
Oh, because you would put, I don't know, you'd put like $1,500 into that doba, as the story, into the doba. And I don't know, you got like $250 back. So I'm just like, yeah, dude, you need another $1,250 to make this right. But this $250, this is good. Plus I had a fucking bar tab up the yin yang because I was drunk. And then there was kettle corn I needed to buy because it was the fair. And yeah, I don't know what you expected.
I just didn't expect to hear my own wife screaming, kill him, fuck him, I hope he dies, from the crowd as I was getting bashed by 14 different cars.
It was spirited.
Unfortunately for me, in my heat, there was nobody from the 3rd Street garage, and I was the Lone Ranger in that heat. And it was on my own. It was fucking brutal.
It was spirited. Like, the crowd, they got going, and I don't know, I got wrapped up into the crowd. I wasn't like, kill him.
When I watched the YouTube video of that event, it fucking is harrowing. I'm just like, God damn, that is fucking insane. That crowd wanted blood. They were only there to see people get hurt. I was an idiot in a fucking car in the middle of that arena, waiting to get hurt, signed up to get hurt. I was like, hey, I would like to get hurt, please. Yeah. Put me in this car. What can I win? They're like, here's a plastic trophy and $250. Awesome. People ask like, you gonna do this? You gonna do the fucking demolition derby again? I'm like, no, I already won the demolition derby at the state championship. I'm not gonna do it again. I appreciate your enthusiasm. You were excited about the blood and you were excited about the check.
Well, okay, but that was the second demolition derby that you dragged me to.
Yeah.
Because you weren't supposed to go to the state. You were just supposed to go to Napa.
Do the local yokel.
Yeah, you were just supposed to go to Napa. You were supposed to get your bell rung in Napa. Your car was supposed to get crushed. Like, it was supposed to be over in Napa. And somehow you got your fucking ass kicked in Napa, but like your car wasn't destroyed or something. And then you're like, I got to go to Sacramento. I got something to prove now. And Napa was like a whole clusterfuck. And then you dragged me to like the second one. So my patience was just, I was fucking done. I was. And I was in another
fucking dirty state fair.
Yeah, I was at another
dirt,
fair.
Drunk as shit. Hang out with your in-laws.
Hot, exactly. Hanging out with my in-laws.
Wearing a Krider racing t-shirt.
And you're just like, I'm going to go race. Like, you go have a fun time at the fair with the kids and my parents. And I'm just like, said no one ever. What the fuck?
Go get a foot-long corn dog. I got to fix this Cordoba and then I'm going to go fucking kill myself in this arena.
And the kids are just like, can we ride one more ride? And I got all these tickets and when's Dad racing? And I'm like, Dad's not racing. He's going to get the fucking shit.
He's going to smash a car against a fucking telephone pole for half an hour. What's the point of this?
Yeah. And
we survived it. And you got that check still.
You owe me.
I definitely think you probably drank over $250 at that fucking fair.
This is my second fair. of all day with the in-laws. And the first fair, your brother had that new girlfriend. I don't know if you remember this part or not.
I have no idea. I couldn't keep track of this shit.
Okay, so it's the first fair where you're going to do the demolition derby. And Napa is such a small town. They're just like, hey, before the demolition derby, let's parade the demolition derby cars.
Oh, yeah. I was actually in the parade. It was very exciting.
So you're like, I'm going to parade.
You're like a Roman chariot, dude. Like going through the city.
And I'm like, hey, like, cool. Like,
just revving the fucking motor. You feel like the stud.
What do I do during the parade? And you're like, well, you stand over there with the kids and my mom. And when the car comes by, you cheer us on. In the meantime, I'll be at the 3rd Street garage with like a bunch of guys and a bunch of dudes. And we're just doing cool stuff. And we're drinking and we're having a good time. And it doesn't involve you.
It was a good party there. Just drinking beers and welding.
And then your brother is newly divorced from the sister-in-law that I really adored. So I am still like mourning the loss of my sister-in-law. And I'm told I don't get to be in the demolition derby to parade. I got to hang out with the kids and your mother. And I don't get to get drunk at 3rd Street garage with all the cool guys and the dudes and all the stuff. And so I'm standing there on the sidelines with like a fucking Krider Racing like banner or something. And I'm supposed to wave as you come by. And then your brother has this new girlfriend who's like 10 years younger than us. And she's in the fucking parade card. And I was like,
oh, I forgot about this.
Oh, hell no. Oh, my God.
That was not planned on my part. I didn't know she was going to hop in the car. But I knew that was not a good look. I knew that. I'm like, as we're cruising down 1st Street Napa, I'm like, let's see. My wife's out there with the kids. And there's some, I think she's not part of the family right now. So I think it's okay to say some fucking skanks in the car or whatever. Like, that's never good.
And then you guys like parade by, and then your mom's like, come on, let's follow the car. And I'm like, yeah, let's walk behind it like the paupers that we are, while
some
your
fucking
uncle's
bitch
girlfriend gets to ride in the back and wave at everybody.
And throw candy to kids.
Yeah, and my kids are like, can I have some of that candy? Can I? And I'm like, no, you cannot have the skank candy. No, you know, you still have an aunt. As far as I'm concerned, your uncle is still married to your fucking aunt. I don't know who this fucking bitch is. I don't know
if
why
your
she's
aunt
in
gives
the
you
car.
candy, eat that fucking candy. But some fucking skank candy? No candy for you. The kids are fucking crying and shit. I can't have candy. So you're mad at me.
I survived that.
Yeah, you're not happy.
And then the demolition parade ends up at the demolition derby. And so then I just think, like, thank God. Like, this car
Shit's over.
going to get crushed. It's going to get over.
This will be over quickly.
And then your fucking car, John, who I've never even fucking heard of before, John in the story, who has like the big welder and the big balls or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. He fucked up the welding of the steering column.
Yep, it
because
blew apart.
then it's like the first heat of the Napa Fair and someone nails you and the steering wheel breaks off. And then everyone's just like, time out. He lost his steering column. And I'm like, no, crush that fucking car so that this shit is fucking over. And I'm standing in the stands like a fucking spectator to my husband's life with my kids and my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law and his fucking stupid ass new girlfriend who's now my sister-in-law. They're like, I don't know.
In the pits.
Working
on the car.
Working on the car.
Part of the team.
I'm like, crush this fucking car in this fucking nightmare so that we can go back to Fresno and get back to our lives.
No. We're going to be out of that event, and then we're going to fix that fucking car. Yes. And then we're going to go to the state championships.
And then it's just like, oh, he lost his steering column. Like, everybody, don't hit that car. That would
Save
be
that for
fair.
later.
When you say in the state fair, people were screaming for blood. I was in the Napa Fair, and I was like, fucking crush that car!
End this fucking nightmare.
That pussy, he's just standing still with a broken steering column. Like, he can't even defend himself.
No, I just held the wheel outside my window. I'm like, hey, everybody, sorry.
At the end of the fucking demolition, all the Napa cars are destroyed. Your car.
Solid as a rock. Better than ever.
Yeah, you just pop the steering wheel back in. And
off to the state championships.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I didn't get to check this box that I fucking crushed a demolition derby, so I still need to compete.
It makes you feel better. My neck has never been the same.
Good. That does make me feel better.
And you still got the check.
So when you're just like, oh, it was so hilarious. You came up and you took the check. I'm just like, no, I walked behind your car in the parade like some kind of fucking groupie, waving some flag, and you're just
some bitches in the back
out,
seat.
you know, boozing with the boys at 3rd Street Garage.
I don't know how you put up with this bullshit.
So when you got on that stupid fucking podium, it's a check for $250. I'm like, I'll fucking take that. And you know, it wasn't that I was taking the money. I was taking your joy. I was like, oh, Are you happy, motherfucker? Let me take this from you. Let me remind you that you're a married man with children.
I'm like, who is this bitch taking my money?
You were. You're like, let me just get back to my bros over there.
Yeah, we're going to celebrate.
Don't we
this
have
victory.
some beers we can drink? And
Oh, yeah, we drink a lot of fucking
And
beers.
you're looking at your mom like, Mom, hey, can you take care of this fucking bitch and these kids?
Did you
Like,
give her some money and get her the fuck out of here? Buy him some ice cream and some candy.
who are these people? Just get them away from me.
You got to put the car on the trailer and get back
People
home.
are so clingy.
Yeah, I'm not signing autographs to this bitch. All right, well, that was quite a journey. I'm not sure why we even read that story. I told you, don't read any stories that have anything to do with cars.
You fucking wrote them.
I did write them.
If you don't want to revisit these stories, you should have never written these fucking stories.
Yeah, well, I forgot about my brother's goddamn girlfriend in the back seat. I had nothing to do with it. I was just driving the car on the street, and dudes are just hopping in. Oh, the crew's jumping in. Oh, shit, who's this bitch? That's not good. But it's a sibling thing. I'm like, I can't be like, hey, tell that bitch to get out and walk. My wife's going to catch up with us 2 blocks.
No.
I'm in deep trouble.
No, you should have told your brother, hey, you and your girlfriend, you guys go be uncle and, I don't know, fucking skank aunt to these kids and let
Skank
my
ants.
wife come hang out in this car.
It would be appropriate, yes.
You were just like, it's all business. Like, we're doing super important stuff with this car. Like, it's not a place for women and children. And I'm like, oh, but it's a place for new fucking girlfriends.
Well, it's a place for skanks. You can't have women and children there.
Like, I don't know that girl. Like, she might be a wonderful fucking person. It was too soon. I was still mourning the loss of my sister-in-law, my children's aunt.
Yeah.
And now there's like this new person and she's younger. And when I say she might be like a nice person, I met her. She's lame as fuck, dude. She bugged the shit out of me.
She wasn't getting a fair shake from you.
No, I did give her a fair shake. And I was like, you bugged the shit out of me. Lame.
That took 7 seconds. I gave her a fair shake.
Yeah, I just was pissed.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what? Deservedly. Let's not take that out on the city of St. Louis. That happened in Napa, California. The city of St. Louis has been good to us, and you love it because it's all Anheuser-Busch all day long.
Oh, yeah.
And we're drinking some Mick Ultras. Let's raise a glass and have a cheers to the Cardinals. Sorry you lost, folks. Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the host their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only 4 Spanish dollars. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.
If you enjoy hearing Rob Krider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.